Welcome everyone back to WLR's Season 1 with the Tier 3 today out here in Round 7 of China. Looking like it's going to be an interesting race. We've got a grid of 14 people today, so that will bring a lot more action considering we only had, I believe, around 10 in Qatar in the last round, so we're probably at a track with a little bit more overtaking as well. Due to the lower downforce and that really long back straight, making it extremely easy to overtake people. At the moment we're just on board with the Red Bull of Mick, who is, I believe, a back-to-back race winner at the moment and the reigning race winner. So he's probably the favourite today, but let's see if anyone else here can actually stop him, as the competition is much better compared to last race. Those names could follow, like Snoz, ARL Yutsu, who's a very good driver. Same with Yeet, he's very good on his day. I'm trying to look, maybe Pentita, if he can, everything can go well for him. He could look like a favourite also. But I'm just trying to find, as Yeet will probably be the first one to start this lap here, out of the whole grid. I'm not too sure what the lap times will be around here. Probably a little bit slower than the ones we had out in Qatar, so less laps in the Grand Prix. Sorry about that, everyone. I just need to invite someone at the moment here. Let's find where they are on my friends list. There. Right, we are back at the moment here on board with Yeet. He's just entered Sector 3 now. So as I was talking about, we've got this really weird section in this last sector here. Very long, never-ending right-hander. Very tricky to get on the traction in qualifying, and that's the best conditions. Let alone being on those harder tyres of the mediums and the hards. In the race, it will be virtually impossible to get on the traction. But long DRS straight, as we see Yeet getting near on 204 miles per hour. So he's Williams at the moment, absolute flying down those straights. Let's see what time's going to do. He's going to round the final corner now, which is pretty much a 90-degree left-hander. Opens up the DRS across the line, and that will be a 33.0 for Yeet. Who's the next person across the line? It will be the Mercedes of Wreckage at the moment here. So let's see where the Mercedes can put himself coming up towards the final corner here. He's going to round the final corner, and he's going to open up DRS, and it's going to be a 32.9. So he's going to be the leader at the moment here. But Mick beats it. So Mick is now 4 tenths in the lead, 32.5 with Mick there. So that's the banker to beat. As I do believe, Failing Squash just went P4 there. We've got King of All in 5th and Bosan in 6th. The next person to cross the line will probably be Samas here. Samas got across the final corner. It's a valid lap. Open up. Oh no, they're probably just starting the lap. So Samas going to be probably backed out of his original lap to start up their actual flying lap there, and for the banker. The next person to come across the line will be Limone, and he puts it P2. 2.9 tenths of a second behind. As we see another Aston Martin guy across the line of Ziacotto, and that's P4 for him. 4.5 tenths off Mick there. So that's a very decent lap from themselves. As Are You Fucking Blind in P2. I'm going to need to find out a different way to say his name there. But that's a very good lap from him there in the Ferrari. Snoz aborts the lap, goes into the pits. And I believe everyone else will just be starting the lap, much like Pintita and Arayetsu's are reversing out of the corner there. So I'm not too sure what's happened then. Is that maybe an Aston Martin stopped up there? I'm not too sure what's happened there. If there's been a collision or what not, but that's confusing. The next, I believe there's no one on the lap at the moment here. No, Samas is on the lap. So sorry everyone, I'm now back. Just even more difficulties I just needed to sort out with a few people leaving and anything else. It's a bit confusing. So Mick still leading at the moment there. He looks very on form at the moment, but Blind doesn't seem too far away at the moment in his Ferrari, but neither of them, who I'm not too sure, maybe a newcomer here. I may need to check that again. I'm not too sure, but that is the Alfa Romeo Q3. So looks like a very good lineup here at the moment in China for the two Alfa Romeos, because Snoz is a previous race winner and a very established driver in the Tier 3 at the moment here. He's always been known to be a consistent point scorer and have amazing pace. Let's see what he can pull together as he's on his lap now. Kinyetsu will be starting their lap now, and I'm just trying to find, Samas is backed out of their lap. Pin T2, I'm not too sure, probably ran out of fuel, set a lap, ran out of fuel, I'm not sure. But Yeet has just set purple sector 2. I'm sorry I haven't caught anyone else on the lap, but we're going to go on board with Yeet here, who's in P6 at the moment, around half a second away from Mick there. But he's got purple sector 2, so he's set up the session's best lap time there. He's absolutely bursting down the straight now, going, yet again, 203. Oh, just clocks 203 miles per hour through there. Very tight hairpin. You're going from 200 miles an hour down to around 50. It's extreme braking zone. It's going to be really hard on the neck for the drivers in real life. Won't matter. He rounds final corner, got to open up the DRS, deploys the rest of the battery, and Yeet goes provisional fastest. He's 2 tenths faster now. What a lap from Yeet. A 32.3 from Yeet, and it puts him 2 tenths clear of Mick. So, will Mick be able to answer and reply back? Oh, as Snoz does go fastest now. Very great lap from Snoz there. 32.2, and that's 400ths of a second in front of Yeet, which is virtually nothing. That's probably like how quickly it is to blink. That's how quick it is. As Wreckage puts themselves P4, 4.8 tenths behind Snoz, so that's a very decent lap from themselves in a Mercedes. I believe that's the only Mercedes we will have today. So he hasn't got a rear gunner to help him there, but it won't matter. Hopefully he can just do all of that by himself. As Blind, 3/10 down, they're going to be going onto the back straight. It's going to be extremely hard to gain 3/10 back in the last sector. I'm not sure if they'll be able to do it. Let's see if anyone else is on a lap. The moment we'll be starting a lap. I think most people have just started laps and backed out by the looks of it. Yitsu still hasn't set a lap, so I'm not too sure what is happening there. As Ziocto puts himself P3 in the Aston Martin, so that's a very, very great lap for himself. Only 900ths behind Snozzy's lap, so I'm sure they'll be very happy with themselves there. As Mick does now just start that out lap, who's now down in P4. So he's gonna be looking to improve and put himself back to the top of the leaderboard if he can. Let's see if there's anyone else starting the lap. The king of all on the set of mediums on their second lap, about 1/10 down on their personal best. It was all they get all over the place on the curb, and it just proves what I was saying earlier about the traction is virtually impossible on the harder compounds. Sorry, I just need to invite someone. So sorry for that, everyone. I'm back now, but Holman is on their lap now as they go through the hairpin, first gear, and then they're going to open up the throttle again, head up towards the final corner, see where they're going to place themselves. Oh, they're going to the pits in any case, but they touch the grass there. That's pretty much, if you touch the grass, that's you spinning at the same time. As we're going to see Mick probably be the only one starting a lap. I'm not too sure what Bosan's doing, if they're going to be going on to another lap or not, or just going to be boxing, as Bosan's going to be starting another lap, but runs wide, so that's probably an invalidation for this next lap. But let's go on board with Mick. He's got to get a lovely slipstream down this pitch straight here, as he's got the DRS as well. Getting around 196 miles per hour. It's a very, very long section, this sector 1 here. Never-ending right-hander. This track seems to love them sort of corners, as it heads straight to another left. A tricky corner because you need to apply the throttle while steering, which is prone to spinning most of the time. As Mick's going to be rounded off the rest sector 1, and he's going to be more than 1/10 and a half down. So then he's not going to be too pleased with his lap there, or his sector 1, should I say. He's going to be looking to improve in sector 2 and sector 3. The long left-hander, which is flat out on this game, shift down twice into the right-hander, back into the left, and then it's going to be a double left now, and it's going to start to finish the end of the sector 2 here to start the sector 3. Mick, he gets to sector 3, and I can't see the split at the moment. I had a notification. Sorry, I'm back. As Mick will now start on the back straight, but he's going extremely slow on this back straight, so he's cut out the ERS, so Mick's probably aborted their lap there and couldn't find the time in it that they needed, and probably going to box at the end of this lap and go out for the final lap shootout to try and get pole. So unlike Qatar here, Mick's got a lot of work ahead of him at the moment here, which that Red Bull didn't really seem to look like it had, because in Qatar he won by I believe over 10 seconds, which is an extraordinary amount of time in Formula 1. So it was an amazing performance from him, as Bosan will be starting their lap now and Samas won't be. So let's go on board with Bosan in the Williams in P13 at the moment, so the last of the runners that have set a lap, so he's going to be looking to improve, as Jaytin has now joined, so a familiar face that has been here before. As Bosan is invalidated his lap here, he should be able to get round again and save up the ERS, but it will be on a set of used tyres now. Let's try and see who else is on the lap. Yeet is on the lap, so Yeet ending off, coming through the sector 1 here. Very, very tricky section, because it just puts so much force in the outside, the left tyres there. And it's going to make the temperatures skyrocket through the roof, and that means the grip will just start fading away. Sector 1, Yeet is 3/10 down on their personal best. I'm sure they won't be looking for that. They're going to need to improve a lot more than that to try and go for provisional pole over Snoz at the moment. As it goes through the flat left-hander, an amazing corner, very satisfying to go through as it heads straight into a right-hander, and we just see the grip of the cars go through there. Heads back into a double left. This track is just extraordinary to watch and amazing as Yeet's going to round off sector 2 here. Let's see what the split's going to be. 3 attempts down again for Yeet. He won't be looking for that. I doubt he's going to be able to gain 3 attempts back and more to try and go for a provisional pole. Is Yeet backing out? It doesn't look like it at the moment. We're going to get a nice rear view shot at the moment there. But we're going to go on board. Let's see what he's going to put down straight again. The Williams is probably going to do around 203 again into this hard braking zone. Very hard brake at the 100 metre ball there. Goes down to 50 miles per hour. Going to get back on the throttle as quick as you can. Let's see what Yeet's going to do. Will Yeet be able to go provisional pole as we have a retirement from an Aston Martin there? But we're going to have to, all eyes on Yeet at the moment. Can Yeet do it? Oh, Yeet could not improve on their lap. And that's P2 provisionally at the moment. So a front row from Yeet, I'm sure they'll be extremely happy with that. But there's loads of other drivers that can improve, like Lemon, who's just gone 1/10 faster in sector 1 there. As we see many cars off the track. Not sure what's happened there. Snoz improves on their lap. Snoz is gone provisional pole now by over a 10th. That's amazing from Snoz. The next driver to come across the line here will be... I'm trying to find where the Ferraris are. They're not on a lap, so it'll probably be a Red Bull who will just be starting a lap of Mick. So the next one, let's look for an Alpine. It'll be the King of All on mediums again, which is odd. Yeah, so the King of All on mediums, which is the slower tyre here over 1 lap. Probably a bit better in the race than the soft as it's more durable. King of All rounds the final corner, opens up the DRS, goes across the line and puts themselves P6 on a set of mediums. I'm sure they'll be extremely happy with themselves with that. Limon goes provisional pole. Oh wow, that's an insane lap from the Alfa Romeo there by over a 10.5. That's a crazy lap. So at the moment it's a provisional Alfa Romeo 1-2. Extraordinary positions, sorry. As the next person to come across the line will probably be... Samas has completed the lap. They're all starting their laps now, so it's really hard to keep track. Everyone else is on their laps. Let's go on board with one of the Ferraris, I think it is. So it'll probably be Blind at the moment there. Blind is on their lap. Going to be opening up the DRS just now. Going over 200 miles per hour into this extremely hard hairpin there. If you go a little bit late, that's you off the track. A little bit early, that's losing a lot of time. As he just absolutely nails it. Coming up towards the final corner, there's someone driving off the track. Blind rounds to the final corner now, opens up the DRS, touches the curb briefly. Well, Blind put their car. It's good enough for P5 at the moment for the Ferrari. That's a very good lap. I'm sure they'll be happy with themselves. The next person to cross the line is the favourite to get pole here. It's Mick. Well, Mick puts it P2. P2 only. So Limon is provisional pole. But Mick has separated the 2 Alfa Romeos. He's going to be happy with that as Pintita crossed the line now to put himself only P10 only, but still improved by around half a second. But I think it was an invalid lap in any case. Let's look towards Wreckage in the Mercedes, the only Mercedes here. Opens up the DRS, goes across the line. Wreckage puts themselves only P7 still. Didn't improve their position, but improved their lap time. Next person to come across the line will be Holman, I think. No, it'll probably be Jayton. Jayton rounds the final corner. Come on, Jayton, what can you set? And it is good enough for P9 there in the McLaren. So we got into the top 10. The next person to come across the line was going to be Holman, but breaks a few meter balls there. I'm not too sure if Samas is on the lap. Same there with Bosan, but a very, very great pole position from the Alfa Romeo there, Le Mans. Followed by Mick, which was the favourite to get pole, who is on top form at the moment, but Limon an insane job. Snoz, yet again, just proving that his excellence there to put in P3, so it's a very good effort from the 2 Alfa Romeos there to put a lot of pressure on Mick and have very good chances of double podium and maybe even a win. Yeet followed in 4th, so on the second row of the grid, very close to the leaders, yeah, he's going to be happy. Giotto in the the Aston Martin, My bad. In P5 there, with Blind in P6, the leading Ferrari, then Wreckage, then the King of All in the Alpine, who did set a very blinding lap on a set of mediums there, so I'm sure they'll be happy. So they'll save a few sets of softs for the race, which may be extremely strategic in that sense. I have a broken hand, so I couldn't get that good of a lap in, my bad. It's fine, Jason. I mean, it's a broken hand. You didn't really have to race at the end of the day. Hopefully it heals well soon. Very good lap though to put yourself top 10. Then Holman, and I'm sorry I couldn't see the rest of it, but wow, Limon, pole position. Extremely happy with that one. I'm sure they will be. So as we do get a final look now, Limon fastest, then Mick, followed by Snoz, then Yeet, Ziotto, Blind, Wreckage, the King of All, Jayton, Holman, Pintita, Failing Squash, Samas, Bosun, ARL Yetsu completes the grid there. That was a very good qualifying session there. It was extremely exciting. So hopefully that predicts things to come in the coming minutes. Let me be in the race, please. I'm not even sure. If you're in the lobby, it should let you race. I'm not sure if you're control of the car, Hassas. So everyone's going to be loading into the race now, applying, changing their setups ever so slightly with the park frame errors. Oh, it's a wet race. That's something we didn't realise. So it does usually rain out here in China. It's prone to be, I think, mainly over the years, there's always been a wet session, and it proves that yet again today. It doesn't look like full wet conditions here, but it will be intermediates. I'm not too sure if it will ever get wetter or it will dry up during the race. No, my setup. I mean, if you're talking about you haven't got a setup, that's extremely unfortunate. But usually the AI setups are higher wings in any case than normal ones, so you could be all right in the rain if that's all right. But maybe Mick was running higher wings compared to other people. This is where a lot of strategy is going to come into play. But it's unlucky with the King of All, who went on mediums, so not on a set of softs, and to make use of those. But it's not going to matter now. All those sort of strategies everyone tried to use in qualifying has been gone through the roof here. And it's not going to matter as it's a wet race. So we've got new intermediates. As the red lights we start to come on now, we have 5 red lights. And this is a light glitch. But it's 5 red lights and it's lights out and away we go. It's an amazing start from Limon there, but I'm not too sure as they just squirm across as Mick takes the lead there. So Mick is now into the lead. He's 4 wide into turn 1. Oh, there's a little bit of a collision with the Williams and Ferrari. Oh, and Aston Martin, that's a half spin. Oh, a few people going to a barrier. I'm not too sure what happened there, but the 2 leaders have already broke away from the pack. Oh, that is absolute crazy racing. We need to have a better look at what happened there, but I'm not sure we will do. As the King of All has got himself up into P3, side by side, starting sector 2 here. Is the King of All going to get past in the Alpine? Oh, amazing job. Oh, as the Wreckage come back at him. Oh, and he just goes off the track, outbrakes himself. But as we do see a... Oh, okay, I thought he legged out there, but it's a poor start from Snoz. I'm not too sure what happened there. Snoz, who went from P3. Oh, as we see a Williams go straight into the wall there. I'm not sure if they've got damage. This is hectic. Probably because it's wet. So Mick out in the lead by 2 seconds. He couldn't have dreamt of a better start than that. Then the King of All, followed by Limon, who's dropped from pole position there down to P3. So he's got a lot of ground to make up here. Followed by Wreckage. As if we check the position gains, Wreckage up by 3. Holman with an amazing start up by 5. Followed by Pentiti, who's up by 5. Yeet, who's had a poor start also. Dropped 3 positions. Failing Squash up by 4. Giotto down by 5. Blind down by 4. As there's yellow flags, it's not a safety car. But everyone's already spread out. ARL Yetsu up by 4. Hassas up by 4. Jayton unfortunately down by 4. Same with Snoz, who's down by 11, who's going to be side by side with Jayton into the hairpin. Will Snoz be able to get him? Is he going to send him the switchback? No, he won't. Oh, yes, he will. Oh, it's unfortunate though. These wet conditions just can't provide traction at the moment here. Will Snoz be able to get it? As we see a Haas peeling into the pits there. I'm not too sure what's going on there. They may have damage, but Snoz doesn't seem like he needs the run that he wants to get past Jayton there. As we see the Haas in the pits there, as the King of All's got the gap between Mick and himself down by around a second there. So it is a front wing change. there. So what's happened with Samus is Samus got a wing. It's a bit hard to tell through the Aston Martin's camera settings there, as he does, but he's quite far back. Bosan, unfortunate start. It's a bit hard to tell because quite a few of those Williams, well, the two Williams I think did have contact as well there with other drivers, so it's a bit hard to look. But Mick up by one, a very good start. But as we're going to go on board with the King of All there, got the gap down by a second there, so it's all to play for at the moment here. The King of All has got some amazing wet pace at the moment. Maybe that's why they sacrificed their qualifying to have this extraordinary race pace, as the race is where you gain the points at the end of the day. It's not the qualifying, as we just see how hard it is to get the traction. As you see Mick on a much more higher battery level, which means it's going to be much easier to defend. So they get that extra horsepower to play with, but the King of All is absolutely burning through it to try and get near Mick and force him into a mistake there. And then Limon is getting onto the back of him again, trying to find the pace. But there's so many laps left in this race, the order will probably be upside down by the end of this race, as the King of All does get the fastest lap at the moment there. You're going to see Wreckage come across the line at the moment, followed by Yi. So Pintita has got past Holman now, up into P6, but will Holman come back at Pintita? Holman cannot look for a move there, as we did see a Williams go wide. Oh, that's Pintita off the track there. So Holman will get past Pintita again, as we can just see the pure understeer of the cars there. So at the moment it's P7 and P8 for the two Ferraris, with their nice one-off special Monza livery at the moment there, which EA have added to the game, which looks quite nice with a little drop of yellow on the car. As Pintita's going to try and force Holman into a mistake, he gets extremely close to the rear of the Alpine there, as it's going to be through, well, it was flat in qualifying, but the left-hander there, as it's a big lift now, as we see Pintita's got the yellow fuel thing, so will he have to save fuel? We're not sure, so maybe Pintita might need to do a bit of lift and coast, but we do know you gain fuel back in any case in the wet, since you're barely on throttle, and when you are, you're only about half throttle when this is a straight. Pintita looks for a move. We have got yellow flags. Let's see who that's for. Was that for the Aston Martin? No, it's not. As it's for the Aston Martin, it's Samas, and I think that may have been it, but that was an extremely weird situation there, which I'm not too sure what happened. But as we still see Mick out in the lead now, but very closely followed by the King of All, who's 1.4 behind, who was just 1.1, but may have just had a moment. So they've dropped a lot of time, but burnt through a lot of ERS, whereas Mick hasn't burnt through that much ERS. So that's not going to matter, as there's a little train here, as we're going to see Bosan get overtaken by the Aston Martin there, as Bosan gets an absolute big tank slapper coming out the corner there, as he just can't get their foot down on the throttle at the moment in these wet conditions, as Bosan almost takes another trip to the grass, which would be unfortunate, and drops a lot of time back. But the closest thing we have at the moment is Blind got past Pintita there on the previous lap through the sector. So the Ferraris have now swapped positions at the moment there in order to try and go after Yi and the leaders there. But Mick just keeping that gap there, as the King of All dropped off slightly, maybe with a slight mistake, as there's yellow flags again, and that's Samas. And Jayton has left the session. I'm not too sure what's happened there. As Jayton lagged out, he might have. I've got to try and maybe invite themselves back. Where is he? There. That's Jayton being invited back, but Snoz will probably get past Jayton's AI'd car there, as I'm not sure what the yellow flags were entirely was, but Samas off the track again. It's not going right for the Aston Martin at the moment, as we can clearly see struggling in the wet conditions here. I'm not sure if it will dry up at all. I don't have that sort of data, but if it does, that will bring a lot of strategy into play. But as we do see Limon gaining on the King of All here, probably a little bit further back for a dive, but can he send it Daniel Ricciardo style? They cannot, but it forces the King of All a little bit wide. Limon's going to try and get on the throttle as quick as they can. It's going to probably be side by side into the final corner. It's not. The King of All does get the throttle down much earlier than Limon, as they was on the outside line, much easier. But we're going to see Limon try and get past the King of All here on the pit straight. Only around 2.5 tenths splits them. Limon, just run out a little bit of straight there. but might be able to force the King of All into a mistake. There's yellow flags again, and that's for Samas, who's got the car going again. As we're going to see the Aston Martin and the Haas go side by side into this hairpin, as we just see the Aston Martin back out. But let's go back to Le Mans and the King of All here, as they're going to go through the sector 2 bit, which is pretty much no overtaking. It's impossible to overtake through this little sector here, as it's just so many corners. There's not much straight to really get in front of someone, and as the dirty air kicks in, you lose a lot of downforce. As that may have just played a part in Le Mans running slightly wide there and dropping nil and out outside of the second mark. As the next closest thing we have is Blind getting past Yeet there, which is amazing. So that's going to be very good for the Ferraris today. But Yeet is right on the back of Blind still. So Yeet's going to have to try and get past Blind in the next coming corners here to inherit the P5 again. But Pintita is right on the back of this little pack there. As Samas is stopped. Is that Samas? It is Samas stopped again. But let's look at this little battle going on here. Yeet is going to be trying to get onto the back of Blind here. Going to use, although Blind has more ERS, Yeet is going to have the slipstream, as that's probably Bosa. I think that is Bosa, and yes, because his huge teammate stopped in sector 1 there. Same with Samas, they're really struggling with conditions, which is unfortunate. Hassas getting a time penalty for exceeding track limits there. There's someone that's gone off the track. Yeet could not gain on Blind on the straight there, as Pintita is right on the back of this little pack there, only 7/10 when he splits them. As it's coming on to, is it? No, yeah, they just started lap 6 now. Pintita's going to be gaining on Yeet here. Let's see if Yeet can defend from him. Pintita's going to look down the inside. As Pintita just looked like he slightly backed out there. Thought better off the move and didn't want to make contact in these wet conditions, which are extremely hard to really make a move in. As they get so close there, almost tapping Yeet there, which would ultimately spin him, but it didn't. So very clean racing from the two here, but Yeet didn't seem like he got that great of an exit there. Will Pintita be able to send one down the inside, or not yet? He can't go for the move, not yet. As Pintita has a slight accident with Yeet. Yeet is facing the wrong way, gonna have to spin the car the correct way, so that is gonna bring Blind about 7 seconds in front of that little pack there. And Pintita, I think the stewards may look at that after the race, as that was an odd accident there. So there's going to be Snoz right on the back of Yeet here, trying to make up more ground, considering they had like a poor start or probably got involved in contact. Ferrari at fault from Piper there. I don't really want to comment on it, but I think the stewards will definitely look at it, and I think considering there was no advantage given back, there might be a penalty justified for someone there. So Snor's going to be looking at, as we get a nice bird's eye view of this here, Snor's going to be looking to get in a slipstream of Yeet here, as we're going to go on board. They're going to be side by side, and Snor breezes past him down the straight, but now Yeet is right behind. Will Yeet be able to go for a move and try and defend the position back again? No, they cannot. Snor's up into P7 and trying to heal that wound of the poor start and doing it really well. It's coming on lap 6 now. As now Mick is 6 seconds in the lead. Now Mick didn't get pole, and it looked like an interesting race, but he just proved us wrong again and again and again, and just absolutely flying out there. 6 seconds clear, absolutely amazing. But Le Mans is 8 tenths behind the King of All here, who's had an amazing start up into P2 there, and did look like they could challenge Mick at one point, but something may have happened, causing them to drop off, as there's not many people close together here. But we do have, as we just saw, Bosan's car taking a trip to the gravel. Samas has been lapped, I think. I'm not sure. Has he? Maybe. I'm not sure. If we go on board with Mick, where's Mick? Mick may have lapped him, may not have lapped him. Was Quali anyway, close. Quali was really close actually, and yeah, Le Mans here took pole. I think they're going to need to come to a second, with 2 there. Le Mans just got back there. Going to need to get close to get past the Albans to show their true colours of the pace in the clean air. this race has really started to spread out here, as Samas has got a track limits penalty. As we're going to see the Aston Martin right on the back of Hassas's Red Bull here, who would be a McLaren driver, I think, but had some technical issues and all that. But I think that his points will still go towards McLaren here. As wow, the Aston Martin just breezes past Hassas on traction there. That was an amazing move. You never really see moves like that at all there in that little section. That was an amazing move. Wow, compliments to Giotto there in the Aston Martin. As now Hassas is around 9 seconds behind, so lost a lot of ground from that also. But looking to make remarks back up in the slipstream here. And using the ERS as there's still a yellow flag. So what's happened? So Yetsu has stopped in the AlphaTauri there. Things not looking to go their way at the moment. I don't know why Tier 3 has good midfield battles. Same for Tier 1 and Tier 2 is good at the front. Yeah, Tier 3 it's really overlooked. Does provide some very good racing. As I'm not sure if he should line up as well. I'm not sure if this is a full race. Just looking at the conditions, there's still rain dropping, there's still intermediate conditions for sure, but it doesn't look like it's getting heavier. There's no sun distance. Full overcast. Just seems like it's like a typical day here in the Shanghai International Circuit. As Yeet is dropped off from the back of Snoz, so we did see Snoz get past Yeet a minute ago, as Hassas is now got behind Fading Squash there, and Haas, who's still behind Giotto, as Jayton's still not back, so let me just check about that, so give me 2 seconds. So sorry, I'm back. So I'm not too sure why Jayton's not here anymore. We do know that he has a broken hand, sadly, so that may be part of the reason why they may have left, and maybe just didn't want to risk further injuring the injury. As we still see, I did just see that comment a few seconds ago on tyres. So here, as we're just on board with Mick, intermediates for everyone, obviously, as we do have Holman on the newest set of intermediate. Oh, safety car. How did I not pick up on that? I don't know. What's the safety car for? Samas is off the track. So was an Alpine. So many things going on. Why did the safety car come out? Let's check the race director. That's always a good thing to trust, as wow, quite a few warnings for track limits and collisions. Nothing so far to look like it. Pit stops, failing squash. Everyone that's pitted has been front wing. Now, will we see people pitting underneath safety cars to take them pretty much 18 laps, which would be really, really long time? Well, by the time the safety car pits, it will be like, could I get an invite again? Okay, cool. Let's invite Jayton back there. So Jayton's back, hopefully. Oh, as we do see Yeet pick up a drive-through penalty. So unfortunately Yeet won't be able to serve it underneath the safety car here. So after everyone's all bunched up, Yeet pits. So Yeet pits. Hopefully they do know they can't serve it under the safety car. Hopefully they just want him to pit. So let's see the pit stop here. As who else is in the pit? Bosan. So it's going to be a double stack here. Yeet's going to be close to lapping them. As the problem with this game Yeah, double stacks, you just can't really do it. Oh, so Yeeter's got to survey 5 seconds, was that? Whoa, 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 whoa. So, I didn't really expect to see that. So as we can see at the moment, as Holman does get a 5-second time penalty for collision with Samas under the safety car. Okay, so stop raining now. We didn't see sun in the distance, but Yeet proving and Failing Squash proving it looks good enough to go into a set of slicks here. We can clearly see the track's still wet. It's a very wet track. The Inters will definitely be the faster tyre at the moment, but since everyone gets brought so close together underneath the safety car here, I'm pretty sure the Inters won't be able to bring out a gap of 25 seconds, as Yeet is all over the place at the moment. So hopefully if Yeet can stay as close as he can to the intermediates before it goes to a full dry track, he'll inherit a race lead. As Holman will be the next person onto a set of slicks, along with Yetsu. So Yeet, Failing Squash and Yetsu on mediums. Holman's opted to a different strategy of hards. So Holman definitely looks like they're trying to go to the end. But I think it should be similar with the two mediums. Well, the three medium runners there. Yetsu struggling on the slicks at the moment. So 18 laps, I think is doable on mediums. I think by the time everyone catches up to safety cars, we see a lot of people pitting. Yeah, a loads of people are coming into slicks. So Limon will be the next person to come out on track on a set of slicks. So Limon's the leading person on a set of slicks. Will we see Nick pit for a set of slicks? If they are, it's probably too late, and he will drop really far back. Same with the King of All. It's an odd strategy. If we was to go on board here, we go on board, Nick right behind the safety car, and we try and look back. So let's go with King of All. So if they maybe go, there's no spray. That's what I was trying to see. If there's spray, you pretty much know it's wet conditions, but there's not too much spray. Although they're going at a highly reduced speed, there's not too much spray. Well, there's no spray from what I can see. So the mediums look good, but Limon's drifting everywhere. JT's up in fourth now, so I'm sure he'll be happy with that one, considering he's AI'd for half the race at the moment. Yeah, Limon's really struggling with those tyres. Oh, and that will be probably a track limit underneath the safety car, which probably could add up towards the end of the race if any more things like that happen. As a few drivers are soft, so I think these two are lapped. They will be lapped, yes they are. So if I go to leader, whoa, so I don't, it's not updated properly. Let's just go to Samas, Bosan, and I'm not sure if Yetsu has been lapped. No. So, but Bosan and Samas have been lapped, I think, unless they've unlapped themselves. I'm not too sure. But will Nick opt to go onto a set of slicks? It definitely does look like slicks soon. No, stays out. Same with that. J-Team peels into the pits. J-Team's opting to the slicks here. So only a few drives here. So Snoz staying out of it on the intermediates. So only 3 drives on the inters, and that will be Snoz, King of All, and Nick. Although the inters will probably be faster when the safety car comes in, but which will probably be this lap, because people are taking quite a long time to get to the back of the pack. The inters would definitely be a lot faster. I'm probably around a second faster over a lap, but I reckon after 2 laps, that will be a 2-second gap the inters have to the mediums, and then the mediums and the just slicks in general. That everyone's all the inter runners are just going to have to pit onto slicks, as we can just see on board the Le Mans here. The track looks wet. The track is wet, but the track is coming to a crossover point, and underneath the safety car, we probably might want to opt to the slicks here, because you don't lose much time under pitting under the safety car, whereas you're going to lose 20 odd seconds under. If you do when it's under racing speeds. Um, Hello, I'm back. I just thought I just took a quick break there under the safety car. There's nothing interesting really happening. Safety car is going to be in his lap. Mick looks very eager to get underneath the throttle here, as Mick will go now. As the King of All reacted perfectly, yes they have, and it's going to be green again, so it's all racing now. Will the King of All be able to get side by side when Mick into turn 1? Yes they do, it's side by side into 1. The King of All, the Alpine, will they be able to get in the lead? Yes they do, Alpine's finally in the lead. That's the first person in the lead this race that hasn't been the Red Bull of Mick. So the King of All's definitely going to try and need to pull away here. Mick's down in P2. Le Mon's drifting quite a bit on those slicks there, as we do see Yetsu DNF there, so not sure what happened there. But Le Mon's dropping time, like I said they probably would, but the track is definitely driving at an accelerated rate, and we will definitely see slick tyres have to go on soon, like pretty much be a mandatory thing, since they will be so much faster, as everyone else behind's pretty much got the same pace as everyone on these slick tyres. If we just flick through, yeah. So Mick is now 6 tenths behind the King of All. Got to be looking to get past him on a straight, as he just outbrakes himself slightly. It's going to give him a poor exit here, which won't be ideal. So Mick dropping off slightly. Going to need to try and get the lead back over the Yetsu's left the session after retiring. I'm not sure what happened. Unfortunate race for them. As if we keep on looking back, Mick's not really gaining too much as they would want. They're gaining loads, although there's no DRS at the moment, but I can see that happening soon, as Snoz has now got past his teammate Le Mon. So, Snoz is on the intermediates. Okay, so intermediates definitely faster. Snoz, are you pitting? No. Wow, so the two Alfa Romeos are really fighting here. I don't think they should, because as we look for Blind here, Blind has got an absolute run down to turn 1. Won't be able to go for the move, but Schnoz just battling with Le Mon there, just really didn't help him out, and will lose some track position. So Le Mon, if it wants to go dry, Le Mon will be in a net race lead, while everyone else pits in front of him. But Blind's going to try and go up the inside here to the start of Sector 2. Blind's going to inherit pretty much the race lead in a way. And Blind's now up into P4. I'm going to try and look to go after the intermediate runners here. So Le Mon's going to have to try and look to get that position back. As this could be a potential fight for the race lead soon. As we're going to see Wreckage start to join in. And Pintitas, everyone's in a pretty much very small DRS train. Jayton's here on the dry conditions, so them dry conditions are probably going to help Jayton a bit more of a broken hand, because obviously the wet conditions need a bit more focus and control. But as we need to look forward to Le Mon on the back of Blind here, will Blind be able to pull away? And he does exactly that. A very, very great exit there, as Le Mon's struggling under the traction. Wreckage goes through. Can anyone else go through? It looks like Pintita might be able to go through as well, coming up towards the hairpin here. Will Jayton be able to get close enough as well for a move? I don't think he will be. But Jayton and the Aston Martin are side by side into the hairpin here. What's going to happen here? Will Jayton be able to hold a position? No, he can't, as the Aston Martin gets past him here. And that's a very great move, as DRS has now been enabled, so the FIA definitely think is dry enough for DRS to be enabled, which is only enabled in thingy conditions, in dry conditions. So we see the King of All pitting for a set of slicks there, onto a set of mediums. Will we see Mick or Snoz pit soon? So Blind up into a race lead here. Blind is, I'm not too sure if they're gaining or losing towards the intermediate runners at the moment, but Wreckage is 1.5 seconds behind, but Pintita's right on the back of Wreckage, so Pintita's had an amazing safety car restart there and gained quite a few positions. So if Pintita can potentially get past Wreckage here, it could be a potential 1-2 at the moment for the two Ferraris, which will absolutely boost them in the Constructors' Championship, but Pintita can't really seem to get the throttle down there, so Wreckage stays in front for the moment, and that brings Le Mon closer to Pintita. But will we see Pintita get past wreckage down this back straight. If you look towards the track map in the bottom right, that massive straight there will be the straight these cars are going to be heading onto, and that's a DRS zone as well. So we're going to be seeing some really insane straight line speeds. Will Pinty to be able to get the exit he needs. He's going to start burning the ERS as we've got a yellow flag for a Haas in sector 2, but we're not going to focus on that at the moment. It's 6/10 back, DRS though, maybe a bit of battery. Can Pinty to get close enough for a move? I don't think they can. It's a bit far back for a move. Because we don't want something like Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel back in 2018 or 17 happening again, where they just spun each other at that hairpin. But Pinty will be close here, coming onto the pit straight as Blind is in the lead now. Mick pits, and the same with Snoz. Blind's in the race lead by 2.5 seconds. Pintita's right on the back of Wreckage here, so it's a double podium at the moment for the two Ferraris, which have made up insane ground this race. Will Pintita be able to go for a move here? This is a very unorthodox area to overtake. He's going to need to get the traction down early. Oh, it's a close one, but Limon might try to get involved in this. Huge scrap. Pintita's going to be side by side. We go on board with Wreckage here. Will Pintita go for the move? We're looking to the right hand side of us at the moment here on board, but Limon might be able to get past Wreckage as well here, so this is very close. It's all 4 cars so close together. Wreckage holds on, but Pintita has now got past Wreckage here, so that's a Ferrari 1-2, and that's something we never usually say. It hasn't been a long time since we've seen Ferrari 1-2s. I'm not even sure if we've seen a single constructor in WLR get a 1-2 here. That may be wrong, I'm not too sure, but wow, Pintita's going to need to pull away here, but Wreckage will be right on the back of him, especially as the DRS. Will Pintita be able to hold on here down the straight? The battery's going to get absolute drained from the Mercedes here. Will the Mercedes be able to gain on Pintita here? Opens up the DRS as we're going to go aboard, look at the DRS flap open, as we're going to see an Aston Martin try and pass Limon there. Will it happen? I don't think so. Oh, as Wreckage gets very close to Pintita there, almost spun in, but he didn't. That was very close racing there, but Wreckage may need to look for another move on the pit straight, which will be the only other DRS straight. Blind sets another fastest lap on those mediums. The thing is, will the mediums go to the end? It's questionable. It's going to need, I think, Blind's in a very great position there, with 3 seconds gap to look after the tyres as well after they pulled out the gap, but Wreckage will definitely need to get past Pintita there if he's got the pace to try and chase after Blind while they start tyre conserving. As we saw, oh, Limon into the gravel, so one of our race favourites and our pole position sitter, Limon, just taking a trip to the gravel there. That's not going to be ideal for them or their race at all, so he's around like 5 seconds away from the lead pack there. Jayton's on the back of them, so Jayton we saw lose a lot of ground under the safety car with the slick tyres, but right on the back of this little pack there, so Jayton's going to be looking to maybe even push for a potential podium at the moment. But as we see Wreckage drop out of the DRS there for Pintita, so Pintita will be absolutely over the moon with that, whereas everyone else behind might be a bit unhappy with Wreckage there, might need to just put their foot down and try and get past him to try and get near Pintita again, because if you lose that DRS, the chances of them pulling away is extremely high. As we're going to see if the Aston Martin can gain down this long straight here, as it's only lap 17 at 28, so we've got a long old distance to go in this race here. So a lot of things can happen here, as we do see Wreckage on the back of Pintita there. So did Wreckage get the DRS? I'm not too sure, but the Aston Martin will definitely try and be looking to get near them here on the pit straight. Will the Aston Martin be able to try and gain, as they do set the fastest lap of the race, so absolutely flying at the moment. Jayton's dropped back and is 2 seconds behind now, but is that wrong? Oh no, it isn't, sorry. So that Aston Martin in front is the lap one, and Mick sets the fastest lap, but Mick is a while away, but we know what Mick's pace is like. Mick is an absolute machine and out of this world, extremely fast driver, so he's going to be looking to push for every single position he can make up. As we're going to look to Wreckage here, so Wreckage is now back in the DRS of Pintita. Jayton's still near on 3 seconds behind them now, so it's a little, it's a massive upgrade, well, three-way fight for the podium here, in a way. So the Aston Martin's going to be looking for a podium position. Wreckage is going to be looking to try and get P2. Pinti's probably not going to be looking in front, but maybe behind to try and defend it. It says safety car. So what's the safety car happened? Why is the safety car being called out? Let's look at all the drivers. Oh, as we see, it has without a front wing. So we can't really see what's happened there, but there's definitely been some incidents of some sorts as Yeet gets another drive-through penalty. So everything's gone quite wrong for Yeet there. Not an ideal race for them. Can't really get much worse than that. The bad luck has been insane as Yeet retired on track there. Yeah, Yeet has left the session. I think you can get punished for retiring on track, so maybe not a wise idea for Yeet there. And it is still giving up a thingy. Well, I mean, it's under safety car, so what can we say? But unlucky from Yeet. But that does bring Hassas now into the points with McLaren. Although Hassas is in a Red Bull, he had issues earlier, as we see everyone pit. So we see blind on soft. We're going to see Pintita. What's Pintita going to go on to? Pintita get held up a little bit. Pintita, soft. Everyone's soft. So everyone seemed like the soft would last 9 laps here. In the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm not sure if they will. As Wreckage has now jumped Pintita, so Wreckage is up into P2 on mediums though. So Wreckage is now probably going to be the fastest driver at the end of the race out of these soft runners, but these soft runners are going to be so fast at the moment here at the start. It'll be crazy, and I'm not exactly sure what the tyre wear is going to be like around this track, so I'm not too sure how the softs are going to behave. How long has she been out? Sorry, I was just taking a drink. I've got a very sore throat at the moment. Had it all day. I think the safety car just come out. There was a previous one though. So that's probably what you're thinking of. You probably just thought it was a really long safety car. But it's not. Yeah. It's just been 2 separate safety cars at the moment. So, sorry about the no commentary for a while there. I was just taking a little drink, just a little break. We are under safety car conditions. Let's just go on board, run through the quick order at the moment, as I believe safety car may be in this lap or next lap, so this will definitely benefit the softer runners. So we've got Blind in the Ferrari in P1, followed by Wreckage, Pintita in P3 is going to be looking for that P2. The Aston Martin Giotto, the King of All in the Alpine, Lemone's Alfa Romeo, Snorz's Alfa Romeo, Mick in the Red Bull, Haas, sorry, in the Red Bull, but is actually counting towards McLaren. Yeah, Holman in the Alpine, playing in squash in the Haas, Bosan in the Williams, Samas, whoa, that was close to a brake check, and Samas in the Aston. That was a bit of a little moment there. But is the gamble with blind here? Will we see the safety car in this lap? I do not believe the safety car will be in this lap, as it would have pulled away from the pack at the moment. So yeah, safety car will remain out for another lap, which will help the soft runners. So we will go racing probably again on lap 22. So this will definitely benefit the soft runners, as they won't wear into their tyres nowhere near as fast. And this will probably disadvantage the medium runners, as they won't get their advantage that they hope for when they pit. As Samas in the pits, Samas pits with front wing change. Maybe something happened, I'm not sure in that sense, but Samas heading out of the box now. As we're gonna just quickly flick for everyone, Mick is gonna be very close to everyone now, so probably the fastest man today. Maybe, I'm not too sure. Could be. We're going to see the two Alfa Romeos need to push up there like they did in qualifying. We both know they have leaders' pace. Blind going to need to absolutely defend for their life, much like Carlos Sainz in the Monza GP this weekend. Just defend as much as you can from the pack behind. Pintita going to probably act like a rear gunner here, maybe have to play the team game here and just attack in front and defend from behind if it comes to it. Safety car's into that. Race control has gave us that notification. So Pintita more likely will get past Wreckage here, who's on the medium, so this will play absolute wonders for the Ferrari, and we could potentially see a Ferrari 1-2 here. Or if we don't see him playing the team game, we could see a potential for both Ferrari double DNF or whatever, because this is Formula 1, anything can happen. You'll never know what will happen. As I've just picked up on this, Jayton's been disqualified. Right, so what's happened there? I don't know. I should have picked up on that earlier. So Blind will start to hold up the pack now and bunch everyone up as close as he can and decide when to go. As Blind goes, as Blind does go now, as Wreckage goes slightly off the track, so this is going to bring Pintita very close. Failing Squash has just got a track limit penalty under a safety car. King of All's got past the Aston Martin there, sorry, as he's going to pull the old switch back at turn 1. You never really see moves like that. That's an extraordinary move. Wow, can't say much else about that. That's an amazing move, and that's going to bring the King of All very close towards Pintita at the moment here, and maybe it try and spoil Ferrari's party, as we know the King of All has had mega pace and pretty much on equal pace with Mick here. So Pintita, instead of looking in front now, going to be looking in those two rear view mirrors. As we're going to see Mick getting through the pack. Mick has got past Snoz there, so Snoz might be a bit happy, but Snoz is on the oldest tyres on the whole grid, on a set of 6-lap-old mediums. As we do see the King of All, get close. Oh, as the King of All's made contact with Pintita. The King of All has just spun Pintita there. Wow. So maybe commentator's curse has come out and definitely spoiled Ferrari's party. So one of the Ferraris now is in P9 and only picking up 2 points, whereas one's leading the race. And Wreckage is right on the back of Blind here. Will Wreckage go for the move? Wreckage has forced Blind inside. Wreckage has looked for the outside. It's not worked. This has brought the King of All very close to him. I'm sure race control after the race and the FIA will definitely have to say something about that incident, and if it gets reported, should I say. King of All setting the fastest lap in the Grand Prix at the moment here. So the King of All's going to be looking in front at the moment, but Wreckage is getting him really close to those mediums to Blind. So Wreckage's mediums are absolutely fired up perfectly and got into an amazing temperature window to provide him insane amounts of grip compared to Blind's softs, as we do get Bosan a 3-second time penalty for track limits again. So Wreckage looking in front instead of behind maybe, but it's a massive train at the moment here. So Mick is on the back of it, so we've got a potential 5-way fight for the lead, maybe even 7 if the 2 Alfa Romeos hurry up a little bit and maybe pick up their pace slightly, as we do see Hassas get past positions on Pintita, who has sadly spun again. Everything was going so well for Pintita, it was looking like a potential P2, a guaranteed P3 in some sense, and maybe even challenging his teammate for potential win, but now they are outside the points and it's definitely ruined Ferrari's party, and instead of celebrating the rest of the night, they won't be. They're going to probably have their head in their hands, especially since Wreckage has just now tried to go around the outside again of the Ferrari of Blind. Wreckage is down the inside for the next corner here, but the King of All is going to try and get involved with this little squabble here. Oh, as they touch each other, they both go off the track. So the King of All just got his wheel trapped with the rear wheel of Wreckage there. This has brought the Aston Martin into play. Will we see Aston Martin try and go around the outside, or try and do the switchback like the Alpine did to them? As we do see the King of All try and go down the inside, it's going to turn to the outside there, as he's going to see Wreckage probably lose the position to the King of All. An amazing overtake there. They're probably one of the best overtakers we've seen in this race, as we're going to see Wreckage coming back at the King of All at the moment here. Will the King of All manage to get the traction here? The King of All has little to no ERS at the moment. It's all to play for at the moment, and it's all kicking off, but Blind is absolute going away off in the distance and broke the DRS. Although DRS isn't available, I don't think yet. He's 2 seconds in front, and that's a very hard gap to bring down, as we have got yellow flags now. I'm not sure what's happened there. Mick has been spun. Mick has just been into the barrier there, so I'm not sure what happened, if he's had contact with someone. So that was our favourite to win the race, and facing the wrong way now, as Hassas picks up a track limits penalty. The King of All 2.2 seconds behind. Wreckage is going to be right on the back of the King of All here, as we're going to see Wreckage use as much ERS as they can. Oh, as they go onto the grass, Alex Albon style, as we do have another yellow flags for an Aston Martin there, which is, as we see, wow, an Aston Martin drop back of Ziotto, getting past the wrong Alpine in that sense, as we see the King of All get past Wreckage now. So the King of All's defended. Wreckage goes to the inside, blocks off the switchback perfectly. The King of All's hasn't got the DRS, whereas Wreckage does. The King of All's going to have to tuck back into the slipstream and try and go again during the lap. So as we see the King of All going to be looking to pounce on another opportunity on a Mercedes there, who's had an amazing race, must I say. If we look at the position gains, Blind's up by 5, Wreckage up by 5, the King of All up by 5. So it looks like, as I did say at the beginning of the race, it's Formula 1 and anything can happen, and everything did happen. We've seen our favourite go down into P10. We've seen PT to go from a podium position outside the points. We've seen the Aston Martin drop from a potential podium now to outside of that little pack. Schnoz pull back even further. We've seen Yeet get 2 drive-through penalties and retire under a safety car. Schnoz is lucky enough got on the back. We've seen Lemon in the gravel. The King of All stay out on inters and end up making the softs work later on while pitting under racing speed. We've seen Wreckage just gain many positions, and Blind gain loads of positions as well. It's absolute crazy stuff at the moment here, and this could potentially change in the latter part of the Grand Prix. So it doesn't look like Wreckage is gaining a huge amount on Blind here, and by the looks of it, 3.2 as Hyper says chaos. It is absolute chaos at the moment. The King of All picks up a 3 seconds. That is beneficial to Schnoz. it may help out Wreckage. I'm not too sure if we look at the penalties. They both got 3 seconds. Snoz is in the 3 seconds here of Wreckage and the King of All, I believe. Snoz could get P2, but Limone will fight Snoz more likely by the looks of it. So if these two fight, it's going to be game over and maybe ruin chances for a double podium in a sense. But as we're going to see Wreckage, the King of All's now in front of Wreckage, as they're on no ERS, as we see Blind just breezing away. Absolutely amazing sort of stuff at the moment here. Loads of ERS, very composed. Whereas these two are just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just overtaking each other at any possible opportunity that they will get. As Hyper did say moments ago, absolute chaos, and yes it is. Limone picks up a 3 seconds penalty. So if you're in Limone's position here, you might have to play the same game and sit back now as you've got track limits and have to try and let your teammate attack as much as they can. As we see Wreckage get past here, out of the exit there, Wreckage has got past the Alpine. Who's got the DRS? No one. Right, so they probably crossed the detection point at the same time there, which is odd, but the King of All is going to look for a move, as will they be able to stick the move here? They provisionally do, but Wreckage has now got the inside for the final corner here. What will Wreckage manage to do? Wreckage tries to hang on, but the King of All gets past, but Wreckage does have the DRS. Will Wreckage be able to get past here? Coming up into turn 1, it doesn't look like it as they have run out of battery, but Snoz here is almost in the DRS and hasn't got a track limits penalty, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to catch Blind unless they unfortunately make a mistake, which doesn't really look like it at the moment. Pintita trying to make up some ground. So Pintita's up to 8th now, with Mick right behind him. Mick's very, very close on the back of the Ferrari there. As Bosan picks up a 3 second time penalty for track limits yet again. Mick may not be able to make a move here into the start of sector 2. It's a very, very close run and it's not a long straight at all. But if we look to the back of this again, Wreckage is right on the back of the King of All. So all they need now is Snoz to get a penalty. I think if it was to finish right now, Snoz gets P2, but the King of All still gets P3, which is the main thing. So Wreckage is definitely going to have to bear that in mind at the moment. Instead of looking behind and trying to let someone through or fight with them, try and get in front as will we see him get DRS? It was a close one. Now outside the second detection point, Wreckage always just about gets DRS, so but has no battery power. The Alpine and the Mercedes have 0%. So they're going to need to start harvesting. Snoz has more battery than them, but not a significant amount in any case. So we're going to have to see maybe a last lap move from Wreckage here to maybe pick up the final podium position. That's if Snoz doesn't get a track limits penalty. So if we quickly check Snoz, let's look at Snoz, view lap times. Has Snoz got a track limits 1, 1 and 2? So 2, I think. I'm not sure how it really works. So Snoz, all he has to do is just sit here, just stay there. It doesn't matter if you drop out the second, it doesn't matter if your teammate overtakes you, you're probably going to get your P2 back, even though you started P3 I believe. So considering it looked like upside down for Snoz, everything's gone in the right direction again. But Wreckage is now outside of the 1 second window, and that doesn't mean they're going to get DRS at the moment here. As there's yellow flags again, what has happened? Oh, I thought that was Blind there, and I thought Blind may have had a moment, which would have probably got Snoz very close to a race win potentially. But Blind is going to be, he's had a blinding race, you may say. Absolute flying here, as we're probably going to have to look to see what happens here. Wreckage is not going to get the DRS, so let's go on board for the final moments here. Let's see if Mick's going to get past Pintita. Will Mick be able to get past Pintita? This is the closest battle on track. Hassas picks up a track limits penalty. Mick's going to try and go down the inside of Pintita here. Will he be able to stick the move? They're side by side, heading down the straight. Mick has the DRS, I think. Yes, so Mick will pick up the DRS, as we're going to see Blind win the Chinese Grand Prix in WLR. An amazing race from themselves there. Absolute upside down race. Crazy stuff. Snoz comes home in P2. King of All P3. Pick up the final podium position. They're then Wreckage, then Ziotto, then Limone, followed by Holman, then Pintita, who's now got past. It's going to be a run to the line. Who gets it? Pintita gets it. Then Mick, then Hassas, then Failing Squash, and Bosan and Samas. Insane race, and it was an absolute insane win from Blind there to pick up a race win, gaining around 5 positions. Strategical masterclass, as they do pick up driver of the day, which in my opinion was fully deserved. It was a crazy race. No one believed them to win the race, yet they did. Amazing stuff. They walk out with the British flag on the podium there. Much deserved. And it's an all British podium at the moment there, so you can't really get a sight much better than that. Obviously, maybe because I'm British as well, so it looks beautiful. A very great race. That was extremely action-packed. The chaos was insane, and them last 8 laps after the safety car restart was absolute hectic. And this race, like I previously said at the beginning, was absolute upside down, as we just seen. An amazing race, and in my opinion probably one of the best races we've seen all season, and probably one of the cleanest. And that's it. That is the Chinese Grand Prix in WLR. So Blind picks up an amazing win from the good position of 6th there, picking up 25 points for Ferrari, followed by Snoz, then the King of All on their debut, I believe, then Wreckage in the Mercedes, the only Mercedes, so didn't have a rear gunner, done it all by himself, then Ziotto, then Limone, Holman, Pintita, Mick, Hassas, Failing Squash, Bosan, Samas, Yeet, who DNF'd, Yetsu, who DNF'd, and Jatin, who DNF'd. This is WLR Tier 3, and thank you everyone, have a great night, yeah, and we'll probably see you tomorrow for our Tier 2s. See you everyone.